This terrifying footage from Robert on TikTok begins on a quiet back porch overlooking a dense stretch of woods. It was a typical night, and Robert was stepping outside for some fresh air when the silence was interrupted by a heavy, rhythmic sound. The property felt secure, and the darkness beyond the porch lights seemed empty of any threat. He grabbed his camera to document the source of the noise. The recording was capturing the ordinary stillness of the trees when something emerged from the blackness that defied nature.
Alright, no lie. I'm on my back porch. I heard something stomping in the woods. Something huge. Show yourself. I stood my ground. I saw your eyes. The eyes were not visible. I couldn't see anything. I had my flashlight on, I couldn't see anything. This thing is big. I'm not that high off the ground, but I'm high enough to where I thought it couldn't attack me until I saw how high its eyes were. There it is.
Right there in the frame, a pair of brilliant, glowing red eyes staring back from the tree line. The height of the gaze is disturbing, appearing several feet above the ground as if the entity is massive or perched in the branches. Robert describes hearing heavy stomping through the brush before the light catches the reflection. Those who believe this is genuine point to the organic way the head tilts as it observes him. Anyone looking for a natural explanation points to the possibility of a large cat catching the light, which would mean the predatory energy Robert felt was coming from a very physical hunger. Hearing something that large moving toward you in the dark turns your own backyard into a hunting ground. This eerie clip, shared on TikTok by Horror de Nuit, takes us into the dead of night at exactly 2 a.m. The creator is exploring a dark, silent hallway with only a flashlight to guide the way through the shadows. Every door was supposed to be closed, and the atmosphere was thick with the kind of stillness that only exists in the early hours. There was no sign of anyone else in the house. The recording documents the silence when something begins to strike the wood with terrifying force. The frame holds something that shouldn't be there. A sequence of violent, repetitive blows against a bedroom door that vibrate the entire structure. The camera catches the wood shaking under the impact, as if something is trying to break through from the other side. For anyone convinced this is real, the key detail is the rhythmic, mechanical nature of the strikes that don't match human movement. Doubters consistently return to the possibility of an accomplice hidden behind the door or the use of a simple prop to create the rhythmic sound from an off-camera position. Hearing something trying to reach you through a locked door makes every barrier in your own home feel dangerously fragile. This creepy clip, posted by Kyle on TikTok, begins in the middle of a typical afternoon when an unusual sound starts echoing through the house. Kyle moves toward the garage, guided by a loud, rhythmic vibration that seems to be coming from overhead. Everything about the setting was mundane: a lawnmower, some storage boxes, and the familiar smell of a workspace. He had no reason to suspect the silence would be broken. The camera was recording the ordinary ceiling when the air suddenly felt heavy and still.
Gosh dang, listen to that. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? It's happening again. See if we can get it this time. Middle of the freaking day. My goodness.
Visible in the recording is the attic door vibrating violently, as if something is attempting to pull itself down from the crawl space. Kyle stands frozen, watching the metal handle shake with enough force to rattle the entire ceiling structure. The case for this being authentic rests on the irregular, aggressive nature of the movement that doesn't correspond with common drafts or settling. The skeptical case is built around the possibility of someone hidden in the attic pulling the door, or a mechanical resonance from an external source, a theory that suggests the structural integrity of the home was being manipulated for the lens. Hearing a desperate struggle coming from the ceiling above you makes the structural security of your own home feel like a thin and fragile lie.
Gosh dang, listen to that. Can you hear it?
This deeply unsettling footage from Dino Nuggets on TikTok takes us into a suburban home that felt perfectly secure just moments before. Dino Nuggets was exploring his hallway, recording the quiet corridors as a strange, repetitive sound began to echo from the basement. There was no one else in the house, and every door was supposedly locked. He moved toward the stairs, the silence of the upper floor contrasting with the growing unease. The camera was recording the ordinary shadows when the air in the hallway seemed to drop in temperature.
Hello? Hello? Keep hearing weird noises in the basement, Steve, so I just want to... Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. No way, no way, oh my god, oh my god. See, bro, there's nothing on this door. Hello? Hello? Oh, shit. There's gotta be something.
What the lens captures is the basement door swinging open and slamming shut with a force that resonates through the house. As Dino Nuggets investigates the bathroom, the shower curtain is pulled back by an unseen hand, revealing an empty stall before the bathroom door itself cycles open and closed. Anyone who takes this at face value will tell you that the mechanical timing of the movements suggests a localized manifestation that targeted the creator directly. Critics of the footage zero in on the potential for hidden fishing lines or pressure-sensitive triggers activated to create the illusion of a haunting. Realizing that the doors in your own home could lose their purpose as barriers is enough to make any room feel like a cage.
No way, no way, oh my god, oh my god.
This terrifying footage from Tristan on TikTok takes us inside an apartment that should have been a sanctuary of peace. Tristan was documenting his living space, moving through the kitchen and toward the balcony door during what seemed like a standard afternoon. There were no signs of entry, and the silence was heavy but unremarkable. He had no reason to expect the environment to turn hostile. The camera was rolling as the stillness of the room was shattered by a movement that defies any logical explanation. The camera picks up the heavy metal blinds of the patio door descending and locking entirely on their own. As Tristan moves closer to investigate the mechanical failure, a violent, metallic bang erupts from the room directly behind him. Those who've studied this footage argue that the synchronized timing between the door and the secondary strike suggests an intelligent, coordinated force moving through the apartment with precise intent. Critics of the footage zero in on the possibility of a smart home malfunction or a simple weighted pulley system triggered off camera to create the illusion of a haunting. Feeling the layout of your own home suddenly work against you turns every closed door into a potential threat. This chilling clip, shared by Spiky Dragon on YouTube, begins with a brother and sister hanging out in their basement. The environment is typical for a lower level, filled with everyday items and storage bins. They mention hearing strange noises earlier, but the atmosphere remains relaxed as they joke around. Everything about the setting felt safe and familiar, just another evening in their home. The camera was recording the ordinary stillness of the room, when the silence was suddenly punctuated by events that shouldn't have been possible.
What are you doing, Catherine?
Playing a game.
Yeah, where's everybody at?
Upstairs. I've been playing. I've been hearing a whole bunch of weird stuff,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's kind of creeping me out. So I don't know. This game's getting really boring. Let's just turn this off. Okay. Oh my God, this is so scary, isn't it?
What was that?
Whoa. My boot is foul. Whoa. Should I pick it up?
It's moving by itself. Dude, that chair just moved.
Whoa. Okay. It's kind of creeping me out. Let's go this way. Oh, I did feel like I got slapped in the stomach. And chair, and the door's opening. Oh my God.
Did that door just open by itself?
Yeah. Let's just go into this room here. The light's not working. We're gonna need the night vision here.
Why isn't the light working?
I don't know. It's just not working.
Alright, hang on. Let's see here if I can.
Is it on?
Okay.
Okay, let's just start looking around and see if anything moves in here. So I should pay attention to everything. I don't even know what these are up here.
Wait, what's going on over here?
Moving? Holy cow.
Go look over there. Let's get out of here.
Okay, let's go.
Caught here, with no room for ambiguity, is a stray boot moving across the carpet as if kicked by an invisible leg, followed immediately by a heavy chair sliding across the floor. As Spiky Dragon and the girl investigate the hallway, a door at the end of the passage swings open without any human contact. What strikes most viewers as impossible to fake is the combination of multiple physical objects interacting with a visible entity in a single take. Anyone looking for a natural explanation points to the potential for strings or a person hidden behind the doors, a theory that suggests the siblings' terror was a carefully rehearsed performance. Being cornered by something that can touch you before you even see it is the kind of realization that makes every corner of your own home feel suddenly occupied.
The chair just moved.
This unsettling footage, shared by Seahawk Turk 3 on YouTube, begins during a routine indoor practice session. A man is working on his golf swing in the center of his living room, surrounded by the ordinary comforts of home. The television is playing in the background, and nothing about the setting feels anything but mundane. He had been recording for several minutes, focused entirely on his technique. The camera was still rolling when the peace of the afternoon was shattered by an aggressive, unexplained movement from the furniture.
What the f? What the f? Oh my god. Shut the f up. The f. What the f? Shut the f.
Visible to anyone watching closely is several bar stools suddenly toppling over as if pushed by a physical force. As Seahawk Turk 3 reacts in shock, the activity escalates to the kitchen, where cabinet doors begin to slam open and shut with violent repetition. The case for this being authentic rests on the sheer energy required to move multiple heavy objects in quick succession, while the man is clearly visible on screen. Doubters consistently return to the potential for hidden wires or a complex mechanical setup controlled off-camera to create the illusion of a haunting. Watching the furniture you rely on for comfort become active instruments of aggression makes every stationary object in your living room feel like a dormant threat.
What the f?
This chilling footage, shared by Campfire Tales on YouTube, begins with a man waking up to a series of strange sounds coming from his dining room. It was early morning, and the house should have been completely silent. He had recently celebrated an event, leaving several balloons tied in the living area. Nothing about the setting suggested anything paranormal would occur during such a quiet, ordinary start to the day. The camera was recording the stillness when something in the room began to move entirely on its own.
Okay, so I woke up hearing these weird noises this morning. And look, what the hell is going on? The windows are closed. This is freaking me the hell out. Nothing else is moving. Look at this. Why is this moving? Holy crap. Nobody's touching this thing. It's just creeping me the hell out. Why is this moving?
The recording reveals a van-shaped balloon rotating and jerking in a way that feels deliberate rather than accidental. What makes this hard to dismiss is the presence of other balloons in the immediate vicinity that remain perfectly still, suggesting that air currents or ventilation are not responsible for the movement. The argument for authenticity is simple. The precise rotation happens even as the owner confirms the windows are shut. Anyone looking for a natural explanation points to the potential use of a thin fishing line or an off-camera fan that could be manipulated to target only one specific object, which makes every movement in the room feel like it's following a hidden agenda. Knowing that an unseen force is interacting with your possessions in the dark is enough to make any house feel like someone else's sanctuary.
Windows are closed. This is freaking me the hell out. Nothing else is moving.
This haunting video, shared by Kaka Demonios on YouTube, captures a moment of domestic quiet that takes a turn for the inexplicable. A man sits at his desk, focused on his computer with headphones on, while the sounds of his home fill the background. There was no indication that anything in his kitchen was out of place, or that he wasn't completely alone in the apartment at that moment. The atmosphere was calm, settled, and routine. Every detail in the room seemed entirely stationary as the recording began to reveal a subtle shift in the environment.
He's not catching ball with you?
Yeah.
You need somebody to play ball?
Baba.
Unmistakably present in the frame is the refrigerator door behind the man swinging open without any physical intervention. As a child's voice is heard speaking in the background, the door continues its steady, deliberate movement until it is fully ajar. What convinces people this wasn't staged is the timing between the audio and the movement, suggesting an intelligent, unseen interaction within the living space. For anyone looking for a natural explanation points to the possibility that a simple incline in the flooring could have caused the latch to fail, which would mean the man was being watched by more than just a camera. Hearing a voice where there should be none makes the layout of your own kitchen feel suddenly unfamiliar and predatory. This mysterious video, shared by Daniel on YouTube, documents a struggle for control over a space that had become increasingly hostile. Daniel had been experiencing unsettling sounds in his kitchen and decided to perform a spoken ritual to banish the presence. The environment was filled with mundane items, yet the air felt thick with a heavy, invisible tension. He began reciting the words while recording the room. The silence was absolute as he waited for a response that would never come from a living voice.
Me dijeron que cuando vuelva a sentir otra vez ruidos, diga unas palabras para que se vaya. Y bueno, voy a decirlas ahora. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Ay, la puta madre. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Puedes irte de mi casa, tenés las puertas abiertas. Andate de mi...
Several kitchen cabinets slamming shut with violent force while Daniel is mid-sentence. The impact is so sudden that the camera shakes as the physical reality of the situation settles in. What convinces people this wasn't staged is the coordinated movement of multiple hinges as proof of a sentient, aggressive paranormal presence reacting directly to the banishment ritual. On the other side of the argument, the rational explanation most often offered points to hidden mechanical triggers or magnets used to simulate the cabinet activity for the sake of a viral video. Realizing that the cabinets you use every day could be used as weapons against you turns the heart of the home into a place of active fear.
Abiertas.
That wraps up this compilation of unexplained footage. We analyzed the glowing red eyes watching Robert from the woods, the aggressive strikes on the door caught by horreur de nuit, and the violent rattling of Kyle's attic hatch. This horror compilation reminds us that even our safest sanctuaries can be invaded without warning. Subscribe so you never miss an upload. And if you think what you just saw was unsettling, wait until you see what's on your screen right now.